Welcome officially, everybody. We have got 20 people joining us this evening so far, and I'm sure there's lots more to come. My name is Valentina. I'm one of the co-leads here at CMX Connect Madrid. I am a community builder. I founded two of my own communities that center around food. I'm a big foodie. They're based in Madrid. One is called Eat Out Madrid, and it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's about eating out in Madrid and all the great places we have. And then we have a sister community, which is called Eat in Madrid, which is all about being at home, cooking, buying ingredients. I'm sure you'll agree, when we had the pandemic start, I don't even know how many months ago it was, for us in different countries, we were at home and we found new relationships with our kitchen. So you can imagine a lot of people cooking. So yes, if you love food like me, come and join us at Eat in Madrid.
Love it. And I'm Seppi again. Seppi rhymes with Peppy, for anybody who doesn't know. Like I said earlier, I'm from Houston, Texas, live here in Madrid. And my first community here that I created in Madrid is the Madrid Blogger Network. And it is for content creators and bloggers of all kinds, not just in Madrid, since it's an online group. You can join us virtually on Facebook, and that's been a great run. This year we had to go virtual for the first time because of COVID, like many of you out there. And my second community is She Hit Refresh, which I'm the founder of that. And that's a global community for women aged 30 and over who want to break free from a life of routine and start a life of travel.
Yes, so we are so excited to be here, and we love just meeting with other people. And now being virtual, we can meet with so many more community professionals from all over the world. So as much as we love meeting in person, this is equally as good because we get to connect with far more of you as well. So for those of you that may be joining a CMX Connect event for the Connect. So CMX Connect is a local program by CMX, which is a company based out of San Francisco who help community professionals thrive. And what they've done is they've created little chapters that are in over 50 different cities in the world. And people like me and Seppi, we host monthly events, used to be in person, now we've moved to virtual, and who knows where the future holds for us. And we basically come together to connect with each other. So the aim is to leave meeting a new person, to learn, to leave getting an idea or an actionable strategy that you can implement straight away, and also advocate for the community industry. We want to grow the community industry and just show to everyone the importance of having communities in our life. Now, Bevy is the powerhouse behind the way we bring people together. This is the Bevy virtual platform, as I mentioned earlier, and all the different things that happen behind the scenes with you RSVPing for events. They are the kind of back-end platform that make our events come to life. So that's all about that. Now, a lot of you may have seen through different social media channels that CMX is hosting another summit. This year, the first time, it's going to be fully virtual and it's going to be completely free. So hopefully you want to come and join. It's on October 5th till 7th. And it's completely free. There are different tickets that you can pay for that give you extra benefits. It's going to be 2 days, back-to-back presentations, demos, networking opportunities. And the best part about it is you do not have to travel anywhere except to the room where you're going to be sitting and enjoying. So you can sit in your pajamas or whatever you want to wear and basically learn from other community builders through this amazing summit. So we're going to share the link to that in the chat so you can RSVP for that. Again, you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a really great event. Other than that, they've also recently launched some courses as well. We have the Community MBA, which is a community crash course to do with building communities and business, which David Spinks is the one that leads that. And then also the C2C event playbook, which Beth McIntyre, who is the CMX Connect host lead of all of us, she talks about building events just like CMX Connect for your own community. So we'll also share some links about that in the chat as well. Seppi, what have we got going on this evening?
Yes, exciting stuff tonight. So thank you again, everyone who has joined us. I know a few people have just tuned in, so thank you so much. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You came in at a good time because I'm just about to give you tonight's agenda. So first up, we have our member spotlight, which we do every month, where we feature one member from our community and they tell us about their community. So that's coming right up. After that, we have our guest speaker. We're so excited to have Paris Pundir talk to us tonight. So I hope you guys are ready for that, to learn how to expand and scale your community, especially right now, growing your community among all that noise out there in the online world. And let's see, after that, we're going to have a Q&A. So if you have any questions during Paris's presentation, please either hold them till the end, or you can drop them in the message box here, and we will capture them and we will get to them in the Q&A, which will happen after the presentation.
Yes, so we're going to get started, and this is something that we started when we did our first virtual event, which was, I think it was back in March now, when we went into lockdown here in Madrid. So every month we have a member from our community here in Madrid come on and take 5 minutes to just showcase their community. And the lady that we have this evening is somebody who comes to all of our in-person events. She's known within the chapter and within Madrid. She has a community which is actually in Spanish, but if you're looking to improve your Spanish, it's a great way to do it. And it's called Madres Emprendedoras de España. I hope I said that right. So I'd like to welcome up Vanessa Cast. I'm going to make you a presenter here, so you can come up and tell us a little bit more about your community. So,
yes, virtual hand clap for Vanessa.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you, Seppi and Valentina, for letting me speak here. I'm so excited. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Tell us about your community.
Well, let's see. Who has kids here? Just type yes in the comments on the chat. And who is an entrepreneur? And who is both? Imagine mixing being an entrepreneur with being a mom is like a deadly cocktail. Oh, that was I learned 7 years ago at least. I have been an entrepreneur for more than 15 years now, but I love to say that my real challenge being an entrepreneur starts when my kids came here and appeared, because it has been really a challenge. Why? Because I try to do all the stuff I have been doing since I have like 20 years or something, but it just didn't work. I tried to manage my time. I tried to do that 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning club, so wake up, but that's impossible if you're a mom, because you are really, really tired, because you have a really like roller coaster timing, and it's really hard. So I got depressed, of course. The imposter syndrome showed up, and I felt like I just couldn't do that anymore. So it was really, really a tough time. But I discovered a huge and really amazing communities for mom entrepreneurs on the US. So they like show me the light. and I realized there that it's not that I couldn't be an entrepreneur anymore. It's just that all the things that I have been, or I had been doing all that time, I have to readjust them. So I have been working on the US like for 7 years or something. And then I'm traveling around the world with my kids and doing some homeschool. But when he turned 6, the last year, we decided to stay here in Madrid and being like more like at home. So we decided to bring our US community, but start a new one here on Madrid. And we start the Madres Emprendedoras en España. Valentina, I love your Spanish when you said that. So we help guide and give some visibility to mom entrepreneurs, so they can run their businesses in a viable way, and they as they are like running their family in the meanwhile. So that's what we do.
Yes, thank you so much, Vanessa, for your time and for sharing your community with us. I am surprised to see, is there only one person attending here that has kids?
Only one Carlos Saba, I don't know.
Someone else tuning in has kids and is running a business, let us know. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for your time. It was lovely to have you on this month's Member Spotlight.
Thank you, and Valentina, for letting me be here.
All right, everybody ready? Here we go. I'm going to give a little introduction to Paris. I'm so excited to have him on. I actually met Paris last year when I was part of the Facebook community leadership circles. He was the representative in India. So Paris is a fellow community builder, and he is the founder of the largest community of community builders in India called Community Folks. And it's about 600 members large. So that's a lot of people there. He builds communities both professionally and for fun. And with over 5 years of experience in community management, he has helped and advised multiple brands and individual communities. And so again, a virtual round of applause because we're so excited to have him here tonight to talk about growing your community among all the online noise out there. Paris, welcome. Oh, let me see.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. So excited, and I see a lot of familiar faces also, including both of you, beautiful hosts. And then I have my community folks here as well. So it's like good to see. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. It's 11 p.m. I know it's late, but I'm glad that you have joined, and means a lot to me. So thank you so much. How should we start? Should I just blast whatever I have created recently?
Yes, just dive into it. Oh, I will. I just wanted to, sorry, one thing that I forgot. Just going to remind everybody, if you have any questions, please either hold them till the end or you can drop them in the chat and we'll capture them. Paris, when you have about 5 minutes left, I'll hop in and let you know, and then we'll wrap it up and then move into the Q&A. Okay? So it's
Peace. Perfect. So I'll quickly go through, because today's topic is around growth of your community. So I'll quickly show the presentation which I have created, and it's recently finished. So I hope no animation glitches are there. I was just finishing it. So, what I'm focusing today is to talk more from a community perspective, and ask your troubles if you are having some troubles, and with your specific communities, because as CP mentioned, I really been working. Never call myself an expert. It's not even 5 years of my career, I'll say. So I'll not even say expert. Okay, but I'm definitely been working and been involved in over a dozen of communities. And one good news which I want to share with everyone: the program which I was running for Microsoft from last year, it's been like 9 months. Day before yesterday, our community turned 5,000 members. It's sort of the fastest growing developers community, and I'm taking care of it for India. It's called Microsoft Reactor Bangalore. These are like it's a global program. It's there in 12 countries. So I was leading for it for India, and it has grown so well. So that's a good news. And just sharing my screen. So there we go. And let's talk. Perfect. So first of all, thank you for helping me in sorting out the topic. It's really difficult to sort out the topic when you're doing a lot of stuff. So thank you for such a lovely name for the topic, which both of you have given me. Starting from here, let's just dive into the things. And even before we start, that's me. And I would love to say that I really love talking about communities, building them, and as in my bio said, it's either profession or a hobby. I have been involved way too much with people, and ultimately building a community around something which I found common in between them. So that's how my love for communities has been there, and it's continuously growing. And you can find me at I am Paras Mundi. It's the same on all the social media channels. So you can just find me or ping me there for anything. I'm easily reachable. Moving ahead, that's the first thing which I really want all of us to really feel good about. Community is the new black. And when I say this, I really mean it, because it's everywhere right now, guys. Like you must have seen the pandemic. If it has adverse effect where a lot of companies coming up and a lot of new communities growing, which is a difficulty for us, but it's a good problem to solve. At least a lot of organizations are recognizing that there is something like community strategy, or which is really important for businesses, which is good news for us, because we have been dealing with this for a while now, and they have no clue about this whole fuss. So let's be really happy about it, and let's really think that it's going to be a great future. So if you're really struggling with the growth of the community, it's a problem which we all can together solve. So not a big problem. So yeah, moving ahead. So this is something which I want to understand from everyone, like, so that I have a little clarity what kind of community you're building. I'll just quickly see the chat and see what kind of communities you guys are building. If you can let me know, is it a brand community or an individual one? Can you please put the comments in the comment section? Like, I just want to see what kind of community you're working with. Others said brand community. Can I quickly have everyone posting the brand or individual communities? Interest, but it's individual, Valentina, right? Yeah. So okay, let me explain it. So brand community is basically where you have a brand backing you, just like I said. So I'm taking care of this program at Microsoft, which is a program by Microsoft, and they hired me to run this. Though I started it from the scratch, but there's a brand behind me. There are stakeholders. I have to talk to them. They are there to give me resources. And if not me, then someone else will be building it. But an individual community, just like community folks, which I started, and it's us, those who are running it. So there is a big gap with respect to resources, with respect to leadership when it comes to individual and brand community. So that's why I'm just asking. So what sort of community yours is it? Is it like started by you, or is it like you're working as a community manager in that role? Karen said sort of a mixture of both. Vineet is saying brand and individual. Okay. I hope I've answered your question, Alexandra. What could an individual community be? So okay, individual. CP said. Celestina said individual. Ola said individual. Smriti is running brand community. I know your Smriti is running a community for Truecaller, and Foodpreneur Rachel is saying perfect. Individual started by me. So yeah, so we have a good mix, I guess. I'll not change this. There is a reason I have asked this, and probably while talking about in depth, I'll be able to understand more. This is the second question which I want to ask. How old is your community? If you can mention in months and years, I would like to know quickly, like, how old is your community? Is it like 2 months, 3 years, 5 years? Oh, 5 years, 4 years, 2 days. Himanshu, 2 days. That's nice. You don't need to worry about growth. 2 years, 10 months, just starting. That's lovely. Less than 1 year, 5 years WordPress. So I guess, Abdullah, you must have joined it somewhere. So 3 months, 10 years, 5,000 years, Blake. That's amazing. Is it a community for the humanity? I'm assuming, because that might be that old. But yeah, using WordPress Lao chapter, perfect. So I'm asking these questions because growth becomes a factor when you have achieved the basic state of a community, right? Like once you have crossed that basic state, and then you are moving to the next one, then you think about, like, okay, we need to get into the growth phase, which is ultimately, according to me, is a requirement for anything. Growth is a requirement. Stagnant things are doesn't go really well, but it's up to you. Moving ahead, we'll be getting into this. So is growth important? That's a question which is different for everyone, but I have listed down a few factors below, and if you can relate with any one of those, you just need to answer it for yourself, because it's your community, you are running it, so you need to figure out that is it really important or not. So if you want to impact more lives, if less number of members is concerning you, if members are constantly leaving, if your community is becoming stagnant. So if these are the reasons, and if you can relate to any of the such reason, you actually need a community growth. Like, you need to get into the growth part of the community, because your basic has been sorted and you are at one level and things are fine. So these are like a few factors which you need to relate to before getting into the growth part. So okay, let's talk about one more thing, that community growth comes once the inception of the community is done. So we have launched it, we are working on it, and now we want to take it to the next level, because we know the things which we have created, or the thing which we have launched and we are working on it, our community is really working well for the bunch of people, and I guess it's a time to move ahead. So to determine that, I could have really told, like, the bookish ways, that you should have a good brand, you should have good strategy, you should have this and that, you do events. But what I try to do is, I have tried to put down a few factors, and and even these factors, these are the factors which are, if you can solve these problems, okay, if you can solve these factors, then you can solve the equation of your community growth, because this is a list of extensive factors which are required to be fulfilled to solve your, or to achieve the community growth. And I am really lucky to have a community of community builders behind me, backing me, and I've shared this factors, this question within my group of community folks as well, just to pick up their brain and take more examples from them. And like, I don't know, like, I really feel very lucky to have so many people in just 2 hours. Almost 17-18 people responded, and like, a lot of lists, I cannot even put them at one place, but I've tried to pick up really good ones. So let's get on each factor and then talk about it, how we can solve that, if you are solving it right, because you need to think of it as in, like, am I solving it or doing it right in my community? So what, I'll show you the factor, and then I'll show you what good can be done in that. If you're doing both of these things, I guess a lot will be sorted, and then the ultimate outcome will be growth. Starting from first one, lack of community vision and mission. So a lot of people, they just start without even thinking why they are starting, because they have started. It's because of the reason that everybody is doing community, and a lot of people start with that, and then because the vision is not clear, things are not clear, and people get reflected, the members are not aligned with your community mission, and hence there is, like, there is too much of noise and nothing is happening. So before even starting, if you haven't yet worked on your vision and mission, I would really recommend that, first of all, you really need to figure out, really need to have a exact thing, so that you can give it the same thing to your members and the upcoming ones, and tell them, this is what we all are going to achieve, and this is the common purpose between us. So that's the first thing you need to solve. Second thing is this lack of exclusivity and niche. So why I say that, because like the topic of this session is too much of noise is already there. People are starting communities within the same domain, which is totally fine, because communities are, like, bunch of people, and, like, with some common purpose, and it can have, like, here in India we have mom bloggers community. Similarly, we have one in Spain, one in different places. So we can, because we are a lot of people, we can actually do that. But still, if you're not working on the exclusive part, then you are missing a lot of things. When I talk about exclusivity, you need to understand it for yourself. Let's take an example for Harley Davidson community. We all know, like, Harley Davidson community, it's called Harley Owner Group, HOGS. And if me or you, anyone wants to become a part of Harley, either me or someone in my family has to own a Harley to become part of that, majorly to become part of the group. Or let's say, if I want to go to a OnePlus phone party or OnePlus phone meetup, I cannot join the meetup until unless I'll submit my IMI number, which is the unique number, which makes me exclusive for the party and for the summit. So you get my point. You have to define that exclusiveness. If you're building a community for fitness enthusiasts, or let's say if you're making a community for let's say bloggers, right? So it could, first of all, it could be niche of bloggers. If that can be very relevant to you. And then with the niche, you should also ask before anyone letting your community bypass you. You need to ask them, please share your blog, or you need to publish at least one blog. So that makes you a blogger, because you really want someone who has little bit of skin in the game. They are not paying at the moment. It's not a subscription based community, right? So since they are not paying and things are not happening, you really want that the right person joins in. So even in community folks, we have never focused on numbers. It's been 3 years, but never even pasted this link like, join our community or something like that. We always try to keep it very focused, very niche, and very referral based. So even then also, a lot of good community builders, since they haven't filled the form of to join the community, they are still not inside the community. Or a lot of them, those who are just there to explore and say like, hey, I just want to explore about it. What we try to understand is that, hey, are you building a community? Or we try to really understand their perspective of your communities, and then only make them join the community. So you really need to work on the exclusiveness of your community. Third thing is this is really important, because if you are not clear with the rules, there will be a chaos, right? If your group guidelines are not clear, people don't know about it. What I'll suggest you is that you should, while building a community, you should write a few questions which you feel will be the questions to be asked by your community members. Okay, if you can define your community, like and what do you call that, community guidelines, or like community environment within those few questions, which can really relate with the member, he'll be easily understanding that what kind of things I can ask here, what kind of things I should not ask here. And you need to be very much clear on that. If those things are really clear, your community will ultimately have right set of things, right set of questions, and really less spam. So please work out on your group guidelines and rules. This looks very simple, very small thing, but this is like really important for having a fully grown community. No consistency in content. This is a biggest issue for a lot of communities, and majorly the individual ones, because they are mostly driven by them. So it happens sometimes you don't have time, you don't have right resources, you're not following a content calendar, you are lacking with the UGC. So there are a lot of factors with respect to content if it comes, and that's why and when you lack consistency, you will lack in making it a habit to your members. They are there because they want to talk to like-minded people about that common thing which is there in your community, and they want to see some curated content. They really, because there is a lot of noise. If they want to read about it, they can read anywhere. But the community, when it shares, there's a trust, there is a value, and you really need to work on that value. So I'll suggest you that if you're not following a calendar, if you're not growing, thinking too deep within your content, you're not doing a right job. You really need to think too deep with your content. You really need to come up with some kind of unique content types which your community can always remember that, hey, this is happening only in this community. Let's say your content will become a ritual for them. They will always remember that this kind of content will always come from this community, and people will always remember you for that. So please follow a good content calendar. Please follow the consistency in the content. Try to keep it on the same time, try to keep it regularly, so that people remember you, remember the community. They know they should miss content. If it's not coming, they should ask like, hey, where is that piece of content? So such kind of things should be there. So that's the fourth factor. Moving ahead, I'll slowly I'll just quickly cross check if there is something in the question. So this group, let us know in my community. Okay, they are just questions right now, and I'll keep on seeing them. But what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to let you go through all the factors, and I want you to think your community with respect to those factors. If you are missing that, just keep a point. I'll obviously share this slide later as well. Everyone can go through it. But these are the factors which you really need to work on, and a specific solution we can actually work on, right? Right. So next thing is badly moderated. So badly moderated, a lot of things comes under this. Badly moderation is unresponsiveness, low response rate, like biasing in your moderation. Let's say you are giving a lot of freedom to a bunch of people and not giving it to them. Then a lot of spam content which is coming up and you're not able to moderate that, or a lot of noise is happening, a lot of self promotion is happening. So such kind of things comes under bad moderation. It's like, think of it as your own house. Okay, this is the example which I give to everyone in the community. Think of it as your own house, and you're doing a house party. It's just like the similar rules you need to follow. The people, those who are coming, if you'll not tell them the rules and guidelines, if you'll not moderate it well, if so there will be a chaos in your house, right? People can put fire and a lot of things can happen. So really need to figure out the right moderation techniques. There could be multiple techniques to do that. You can have a good bunch of moderators to handle your community, which is a really good strategy to give value to your inner circle. If you're not doing that, involve your inner circle in the moderation. You need not to take all the pain on your shoulders. There are people, those who really want to support and help them, they really relate with your community mission. So you just need to find them out, and you really need to make them responsible for some things, and they would really love to do that because you have ultimately found out the motivation of for that specific community member. So keep that in mind, that moderation is so important. Try to be highly moderated, a good moderated community with a bunch of moderators, so that all the problems doesn't come on your head, and even you don't become the point of problem for everyone when a bad moderation thing happens. So it will be helpful to have a bunch of moderators to make it a governance kind of a model within your community. Then coming too many restrictions, this is also coming under the same thing. While you're moderating, don't forget that you are not restricting people for a lot of things. You cannot just say, hey, don't do this. You need to understand that the kind of language you're using, it should be friendly. It should not be like you need not to be rude. You're a human, and you're building a community for humans, right? And you're building it for them. So you just need to tell them, you need to just assist them, not rule them or rob them. So try to be real human, right? Because that's why they are there. They're there too because they're finding more bunch of people just like you, and they found a community for the sense. So try to be a real host, a good host, and don't try to compel a lot of things on their head. Try to be really focused on the core values, and be restricted for the right things. Improve your guidelines. This is an important point. Member onboarding. If you haven't worked on member onboarding, I'll suggest you to make a separate day specifically for member onboarding, and think about the ideas to make a member feel really better when he has joined. Again, giving you an example of your house party. Just imagine yourself going to someone else's house party, okay? And you entered in their house, somebody opened the gate, or probably the gate was open because there is no filter, right? The gate is that filter. And so you entered in the house, and you know no one, you just got the entry because it was open, or probably you just passed the exam, or you belong to them. But now you're there, you have no idea, you don't know where the kitchen, where the party area, where I need to crash, what I need to have, nothing, right? So you will feel lost. You will be sitting in a corner, probably seeing things, watching things for a while, and then after a while you'll get up and leave. Similarly, your new member is going to do the same thing. If you're not going to make him feel welcome, if you're not going to make him feel that he belongs to this place, if you're not going to redirect him to the right resources, telling him this is the right place to do this, or telling him the guidelines, if you're not going to tell him that these are the rules, unless he will break the rules, your onboarding has to be really, really sorted. And it's the major problem with a lot of communities, and I can definitely bet on that. Like a lot of you might not have picked up all the things to onboard your members. You can do a lot of things. You can get into new members emails. You can send them personalized emails if you want to, every week you can do that. You can do specific posts within the online community. Then you can do for your new member, you can make them connect with someone, or you can make a small group within your community to make them feel welcome, or you can match make that. So you can do a multiple stuff to make your onboarding better. But really work on this. This is the step. Like people, those who are thinking why, you're thinking about growth right now, but what if you have broaden your funnel on the top, but you're not actually working on the member onboarding. He will just come and bounce. So you don't want to bounce people from there. You want them to come and adopt so that they become your existing members and they can actually welcome new members. So you really need to work on member onboarding so that you can retain a few of them. Yes, this is important. Badly executed and irregular online and offline meetups. So try to be consistent. Look at the CMX Madrid Summit. Both of the ladies, they are so consistent and they have been doing it. And they have been such an amazing host, having a whole agenda, having everything sorted. Like, keeping some time for this, keeping some time for conversations. Like, big a really commendable job, CP and Valentina. You guys are doing it like really in a really perfect manner. So we need to learn something from both of them and such people. Those are doing really crazy meetups. A lot of things have moved to the offline space right now. So we need to think how we execute the online meetup. So you need to really work on the online community part now. So, like, let's say when your members are coming, you making them feel welcome. There is a recent article which I've shared in the community where it said, like, do a doodle, whatever is there in front of you, or ask them to bring some sticky notes, or ask them to come prepared with a coffee or something. You need to make them feel like, that they are really coming for something. And then clicking pictures, or keeping an online document where you're taking pointers so that latecomers they can follow up with the event. So such kind of ideas you need to implement while executing your online meetups. And offline, similarly, the same way, you need to make it offline more welcoming and more happy for the people, more valuable for the people. So, and consistency, that's the key. It's the last slide possibly. And lack of strategy for the inner circle. If you haven't, first of all, inner circle, let me answer it. If people don't know what inner circle is basically that bunch of people which are there in your community responsible for creating content and engaging with it. So there is a model called 1990 model where one person is the creator, 9% is the content engagers, and then 90% is the rest of the audience, which is a mix of lurkers and a lot of sleep members. So you really need to work according to the stages. Like, that one person, make them, you should be best friends to those people. They are your allies, right? They are the right people. That's the reason. These are the people you're building this community for, right? And if you're really passionate and enthusiastic about this community, I'm sure the conversation, if you'll try to become best friends with these people, I'm telling you, this will be the best decision, because these are the people those who can completely resonate, and these are the people with whom you can do a lot of things together. So treat them in that manner. Then your 9%, which is your engagers, have some ideas for them. Keep them specific into calls, do something special for them. And then remaining of your 90 members, keep some specific strategy for them. So you really need to have strategies according to the member type. And your inner circle definitely needs a good strategy, good loyalty programs. If it's a brand community or if it's an individual community, good kind of specific announcements, specific shout outs. If you can afford swags, give them swags. If you can afford parties, give them parties. Or then you understand their motivation. If they are there, what they actually need from this community. Are they here for the intrinsic part of the mind, where they really seek that I really want to meet good people and like-minded people, or they are really seeking some monetary benefits? You need to understand what is their motivation. You really need to talk to them if you want your community to thrive. So because these are the people, those are going to define your community. If they are there, your community is going to survive like crazy. So work on your inner circle. This is the important thing. Resources, when I say you can't run a community without resources. And then now this is a difference in a brand and an individual community, right? A brand community can get resources from the stakeholders, but then there is a catch. To make yourself, you need to show your value to your stakeholders to get those resources, because you are going to be the first team which will get a layoff when the company will be cutting employees. So you really need to be clear about the values and the benefits you're putting in front of your stakeholders. So try to have your matrices which can be qualitative and quantitative both at the same time, so that you can actually show the value what you're creating. Look at examples of Duolingo running 2,500 monthly meetups. So such kind of bigger programs, or not even bigger, you can start with small, but you really need to work on the their mattress part and figure out like, this is what our community is giving, so we need this much of resource. And when it comes to the individual community, you need to understand, you need to create that value at one place. You are building community is nothing less than a product or a brand. I'll say, okay, if you can create it in the right manner, or we can sort all the things which we have discussed, it will ultimately be a good community which you can take to a right brand. Let's say if I'm building a designers UX designers community, and I have a good engaged community, I can pitch to Figma, or I can pitch to any damn design tool and ask them, will you sponsor us, or will you be a partner or something? They would love to, because they're getting so many people and that to engage people. Look at the brand partnership model of Instagram. They partner with the influencers because they get so many likes or so many clicks on their products. So similarly, you can do that, but do it with a mindfulness. Don't do for the sake of money. You have never planned to make this community give you direct money. There is a separate session which we can do on monetization of a community, but there can be a lot of ways you can monetize your community and then bring those resources to the community. But to bring them, you really need to work on the value part. If you can work on the value part, be it a brand community or an individual community, you can bring those resources to them. And resources are the most important thing. If you don't have them, you can't build a community. You need manpower, you need extra money to run all such programs. So yeah, that is very, very much required. And where social identity and brand, it means like, you're not investing, you're just focusing on one part. You need to create a good brand around outside as well, because you want to keep your funnel big. If your group is very close, you want to keep your funnel big, you want more people to know about you. So try investing in, like, you can have a community on any platform. Let's say you're running it on Mighty Networks or a Facebook group. So you can have a group specific for the community. Then you can have an Instagram page or something to grow that audience. Even that Instagram page later can become your asset, which you can partner with a brand and get some resources and give it to your community. So you can use it in that manner. Plus you can use your social identity to create FOMO and ultimately to broaden your funnel. Then comes the platform selection. I hope this is the important thing, which that if you are building a community of let's say sales professional, and you are choosing a platform like let's say what should I say? I'd say Facebook group. Even I'll say Facebook group is not, or say Telegram. I'll suggest you to try using LinkedIn groups, which is getting a little better. But you need to be mindful while thinking like where my members are, where I should be selecting the platform. So you need to be very much clear the type of community you're about to build, and then pick up a platform which is really, really suitable for the community. Don't make a mistake of just picking up any platform starting, because migration is the pain in we know what. So yeah, that's the platform factor. And then yep, try to be human with your community. Don't if you're a brand community, especially this happens in the brand communities, not the individual ones, that we focus too much on the rules, we focus too much on the ROI, we focus too much on the numbers. So that's why we forget the human part of the community. In the end, it's the people we are building it for. You're not building it for yourself, you're building it for them. So try to make it more human. Don't keep it like some robot is running the community. It's you. So show them that there's a real people behind this. And then yeah, ultimately everything ends to innovation. If you are following the same process, same methods for years, nobody is gonna love that, right? Everything is innovative, everything is changing. So you need to adapt those strategies. You need to adapt it for your content, your welcome style, your moderation technique, your events, your session. You need to adapt. You need to innovate in everything. If you keep on innovating, ultimately people will love to stay there. So so yeah, like if you can actually sort out all of these things, okay, all of these factors, you can ultimately get the community growth. Okay, this is the whole way, or this, because growth is not just one factor. Growth is depending on all of these factors. Your existing member will never leave a community which really gives them value, which is highly responsive, which really respect their contribution. Your new members will always love it when there will be a good onboarding, where there is a welcome feeling within the community, right? And if you can ultimately manage everything well, and focus on providing the value rather than spamming or using it for mean interest, nobody will leave your community, and it will grow organically, apart from growing it from any other else. And there is a big issue which people think that there are a lot of other communities coming up in the market. Let them come, let them come. Nobody is gonna compete the human side of your community, right? The trust which we are creating in the community cannot be bought by anyone, by any damn thing. So you really need to focus on that part, and don't forget 1990. That is really important. If you can focus, try keeping those 1 to 9, 1 and 9 wala people, and then the 91s, they will keep on converting, because that 1 and 90 will look so fancy to them because of the exclusiveness which you are providing to those inner circle members. So try to keep working on your inner circle, try to keep getting more members, and and ultimately you can make a thriving community. I hope that has answered a lot of factors which you have in mind. And I mentioned already, that if you are building a community, and if there is any factor which is bothering you, you need to sort that out. And if you can sort it, you can go to the next step of the community, and ultimately reaching to the level where community will organically grow. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I wanted to say. I hope that all made sense. And getting back to the session. Yep.
Yay. Virtual round of applause, everybody. That was amazing, Paris. Thank you so much. So much information. A half hour of so much information. I saw people there that were writing down notes. Someone said they have a lot of homework to do. So that is amazing. I think they got a lot from this. Thank you so much. So we're going to shift to the Q&A again. And also, guys, in the comments, let us know how much you enjoyed this so we can see, since we can't see you at the moment. And if anybody has questions, this is when we're going to open it up to questions. So you can drop your questions here in the chat. Don't be shy. It can be a question of something that maybe piqued your interest, of some of the points that Paris went over. I particularly loved, I wrote it down here, take care of your inner circle. I love that point. And also find out what their motivations are. So I may have some questions on that, but I want to hear from the viewers here what questions you guys have. And let's see, we will put them as they come in. Don't be shy. I know you got questions out there. I'm gonna just scroll through the chat also to see if I missed any while we had the presentation going on, because there was a lot of conversations happening, which is great. All right, so we have a question here from Carlos. Carlos says, can you mention some ways to work with your inner circle users? Love that question.
Absolutely. So if you remember, I told you 1, 9, 90. So I'm considering that 1 and 9 in your inner circle at the moment, because 1 is the creator and 9 is the engager, and then 90 is whole audience. So if you can plan, like I mentioned, if you're a brand, you can have a good loyalty program. Okay. Okay, let's go to the first step of this. First of all, first you need to recognize these members. Then you need to recognize their motivations. Okay, motivations is the really important thing to understand here. So there will be few members, those who are there to, they are very new to the community, and they are there to find more people like them. So that's why they are interacting. Then there are a few more people, those who are experts. They need recognition. They have achieved a lot of things in life. Now they want some recognition. They want their people to know them. Okay, after a while, when you have money, what you need fame, right? That's the game in life. That's how human is. So money, fame, and that's how things go. So you need to understand that, so figure that out for your audience. And because it's a small bunch of people, what you can do is you can really talk. Okay, because your feedback loops are not that great with whole community. What you can do is you can directly just talk, at least to these 10% of people. If you can talk to them, you can understand their motivations, and accordingly you can plan your programs. You can plan specific regular, giving them some recognition in a manner like making them moderators and giving them a big shout out. Okay, or making good graphics around their name, and hey, this guy is doing an amazing fab job, and something like that. Sending them handwritten letters, which is such a lovely gesture, which is such a human gesture, right? Or you can do community lettering at one place, all together, all the team sitting, or all the community members sitting and writing letters to each other. You can do that for the inner circle and send them letters. You can send them some swags, like I told you, if you can afford swags, because if you're an individual community, it's difficult, but if you're a brand one, you can do that. So similarly, you can just understand and then break it down, the kind of value you can provide for their work. They are putting effort in something which you want to build, right? So you really need to acknowledge that. And there is one more thing which I forgot to mention, which is really which I personally follow, which is acknowledging each and every effort. A like for a like, a comment for a comment. This is what I do in my life. Like even if I reply after 2 days, I'll reply with the same gesture which has been given to me. I will never let any single voice unheard. And this is what I tell to my moderators. This is what I tell to any other community builder. Don't let any voice unheard, because imagine this in a real world scenario. Okay, somebody is standing in front of you and they have said hi. Okay, which is kind of an emoji, or which is kind of a reaction. Do you think you should not respond to it? You will respond to it in the real world. Similarly, you need to treat the online world in the same manner. You need to respond to every gesture, every comment, every effort. If you can do it in the same manner, they will never forget you. They will never forget the value you're providing. So yeah, that will be my answer. And my answer will be a little longer. Can't help it. We are community builders. We talk all day. So please don't mind.
Thank you so much for that great answer. And Carlos says his audio went a bit robotic. So Carlos and everyone watching, just want to let you know, this is a recorded session, so you guys can revisit this once we post it. So if you missed anything, don't worry, you'll be able to get back, come back and listen to it. I love those points, Paris. I just wanted to point out a few things that kind of Valentina and I have done. I did early on in my community. I sent personal messages to people in my Facebook group. I found out who the top 5 contributors were and engagers and sent them a personal message. And it really, I could tell like how special they felt to get that recognition. I know Valentina has done that publicly in her group, showing who I think the top 10 engagers are, and people really feel like they've been seen and heard. So I love the tips that you gave there. All right, we have some more questions here. So I had Neha's questions first, so I'll get to that. So let me see where I put that. So Neha asked, how many moderators are required generally in a community of 90 people?
Neha, to answer that, I'll say it's actually person to person. I really feel I can handle a lot of people. Personally, I'm answering that. Okay, but then it comes to someone else, to my mod, he will say, I cannot handle so many people. So what the purpose of a moderator is to actually get connected with those few people. Just imagine if you have a big bunch of people and you have like five mods. Okay, let's say you're managing event. If I can be in personal touch with the first 100, and similarly all like, you know, everyone is in touch with 100 people, there is a sense of relevancy in the group. You know how people choose to take part in the conversation or choose to come to the event when they see their friend is going. Okay, so you need to be that friend. If you can give them that single factor that, oh, Paris is there, oh, Neha is there, okay, let me answer. Or even their notification, they will see if I'm inviting you for the, okay, I've seen this in my community and a lot of other places. If I'm inviting the members, I remember from the community folks from the early days, they will always join. But now the new moderators, they will invite, they sometimes miss their notification. So it's always about, like, you know, how do you actually cater to their needs, and how do you keep that personal relationship? And I feel humans are really important to manage that personal relationship. No robots and no machine, no automation cannot take over that. So that's the whole game, but you really need to define it for yourself. One need to do it for themselves. So no perfect answer for that, I'll say.
Love it. Yeah, Valentina says, I handle almost 7,000 alone. Karen says, I handle 8,500 with one other very good moderator. Yes.
Superhumans. I already say we are the superheroes. It's just we don't wear capes and nobody actually knows the power. They don't know like how crazy we are. And trust me, we're gonna go places.
I love that. And I think it also depends what your moderators' functions are. Like for my group of 6,000, my moderators more kind of keep an eye that the conversations are on track, nothing is going, you know, nobody's bullying, and they also approve posts. But I personally like to be the person that's the friend and that's commenting. I want to personally build that relationship with my community. So it also depends what role I think your moderators will play.
Absolutely.
Next question. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to say this name right. Is it Sangeeta or Sanjita?
Sangeeta. It's Sangeeta.
Sangeeta, good. I got it right the first time. Sangeeta, thank you so much for your question. Okay, the question is, if you're managing a community which is based on multiple platforms, there will be members who will be part of, say, more than 2 platforms, okay? This technically creates an intersection. How do we identify mechanisms to define measure of the total growth? Okay.
Perfect. Tricky question, but first thing I'll say, Sangeeta, if there is a chance to bring all of them at one place, because why to do same effort at 2 places? You have to moderate the same manner, you have to engage in the same manner, you have to respond in the same manner, and then create all the vibrations on the same manner. So if there is a possibility to bring them at one place, try to do that, right? But if there is not, then again, to define, measure the total growth, it's again, like, it's very, I feel it's the simplest, the same manner. You will do it for one, you do it for both, and then you combine it. There is no exact way to correct that out, and then you need to define those matrices which defines the growth of your community, or your stakeholders must have defined such things, okay, saying that number of members should continuously keep on growing. There should not be a negative or red mark in your number of member growth, or let's say number of posts within your community should go up, or let's say number of feedbacks which you are receiving every month should always go up. So these are the matrices which you need to define, which will define the growth of your community, which is community specific and domain specific and community builder specific. But if you can do that and then collaboratively take control of that, then you can define the exact growth for your community. But again, my suggestion will be, try bringing them at one place. If it's the same community, if it's the same people, I guess the problem is the platform. You might have not chose the right platform. So on the day, if you'll grow someday more than this, you might need a better platform which can hold more people and do it together. So why not today go for a platform which can hold everyone?
Love it. Thank you. Yes, someone mentioned here, the community guy is so practical in approach and makes things look so easy. I agree. All right, keep the questions coming. We have another one here from Lily. Lily, so good to see you. Lily's coming in from Canada. Lily says, how do you differentiate from the many other groups already existing? My group is for middle-aged women who are single and loving life.
So that's not the thing which you are saying, and that was the reason I have mentioned that during the session also, that it's a problem a lot of community builders are facing, because such groups keep on growing. Parenting groups. Today I consulted one woman who's a blogger. She has good following on Instagram, and she is like, I want to create a community. So first thing I told her that, the community which you're trying to build, it's already there, right? But now if you can think of a small niche or those few things which can actually make your space a bit unique. The thing is, uniqueness and specific things have more chances to survive and grow. Though after that, it's how you manage those people. Okay, even though someone can have more members, but the happiness quotient will not be that much in that community. Right? And again, it's that 80-20 rule which goes in communities also, right? So your 20% members are actually the overall members, right? So try to keep them happy, let their trust be on you, and if you can buy that, if you can support their trust, they will never leave. They will never leave, be it any damn community comes after you, or be it anyone who's building a community. You really need to keep that focus high on the values which you promise on the day one, and then keep on innovating every day. I guess you will not fail. I know this is a big problem, but you really need to define few things: your uniqueness, a set of rituals, and then bind them by matchmaking them with the right people. If they got connected here with few people in your community, they cannot create that bond in another community. They will not go, because this is the place they are getting these people through you or through the community. So bind them through your members. Let them meet each other, or let them celebrate for each other, and they will never go. Give them the stickiness to them. Yep.
Love it. Give them.
I hope that answered.
Yes, give them the stickiness, give them the value, give them a reason to stay, right?
Yep.
All right, next question. Carlos has another question. Love it. And if you guys have questions, keep them coming. We can have some more time for Q&A. Carlos says, do you have any thoughts on how to deal with members who leave the community?
Who has left or who are about to leave? So if they have left, see, any thoughts how to deal with members who leave the community? First of all, it was always their choice to come and go, right? So you have to be similar person when they are leaving, right? Like let go relationships kind of a behavior you need to adapt in your brain. You need not to feel that bad for it, and you just need to. This is how I treat everything in life, on a very positive note. This is how I take things. If somebody is leaving, having a bad experience and leaving, I'll take a learning from it, why it was a bad experience for me. So I'll always go for the learning part rather than for all the other reasons. So if people are leaving, they might be leaving for a reason, right? you will just try to understand the reason. Like you must be, we all can relate to it. When we unsubscribe a newsletter, the good newsletters always ask us, what is the reason you are leaving me, right? So you really need to ask that, and you really need to work on that feedback loop. If you can work on that feedback, trust me, less people will leave and you will retain more. So yeah, that's how you deal in a positive manner and learn from the people those who are leaving. That's how you deal with them.
Nice. And Carlos added, he said, I mean, in terms of an offboarding approach. So is there an offboarding approach that you have for people who want to leave?
Offboarding approach, nothing that specific. I never like, you know, I guess like I already mentioned, I guess if it's offboarding, again, don't make it too techy for them. Okay, it should be a choice, but keep an angle of learning towards that offboarding as well, so that you have the insights of from the people those who are actually leaving or planning to leave. So that will be my answer. Yeah.
Great, thank you. All right. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Now is the time. Do not be afraid. We got a lot of people watching out there, and I know your mind has been buzzing from all the information that you got today on how to grow your community. All right, Naveen has a question. Naveen says, yeah, our community was built during pandemic. Oh, way to go. We never met, but we are connected well online. How do I keep them engaged or keep them engaging?
Naveen, see, like, but you already said it, that you are already connected well. So what you're missing is a good, consistent content, consistent catch-ups. Just focus on two things, like, you know, write valuable content. And when I say valuable content, don't define the value yourself. Define the value with a bunch of community members. Involve them in your content strategy. That's where I said the inner circle members. If you feel that, you know, these bunch of people are also liking it, and you will understand that, okay, try to tweak your content with respect to the feedback every time you get. Use more of polls, because polls are really accessible and easy for new members to get inside and, like, you know, get part of that community and take part in the conversations. And then keep your catch-ups little frequent if you can, and really valuable. So it's, see, the concept of keeping keeping a community engaged goes to content and like, you know, and the offline and the online content part, or the whole environment you create, or the whole experience you create. So you just need to focus on that, but whenever, be consistent with that. Try to focus on consistency. Don't try to focus on doing everything at one time, rather than trying to break it down for a whole month. And really, if you are not using a content calendar, try going, like, you know, adapt a habit for that. It will actually sort out a lot of things for you when you see that it's so easy when you break down things, break down your content, and bring the consistency to your community, because it's just few types of posts which you have to do in a manner, like, you know, that which creates engagement. It won't look like a pile of work to you. Otherwise you feel like, you know, oh shit, I have to make a content for a month or more than that. It's a difficult thing. So follow good content calendar, then involve your community members in creating the valuable content, and do more frequent catch-ups, because it's the starting. And try to crack some rituals if you can, because rituals is something which can hold people all together. So if you can, like, you know, with respect to the people those who are there in your community, try to crack some rituals, and I hope that will help out.
Great. Oh my gosh, love this. We got some more questions in. So Rachel says, how do you separate exclusive community content from content shared publicly? Does the value of your content lessen when it's always shared publicly?
See, okay, so I have a bias on this. I really feel like, you know, there's a purpose. The community is closed, and we are sharing things. So I try not to share all the things outside. I try to share it with my community, because I try to keep a little bit exclusivity, and I really want this my members to feel about it. Even my personal opinions, I'll not be sharing it anywhere, like, you know, even on the community or any learning which I had. I'll try to bring them, compile it in the right manner, and put it in front of my community, because I want to get that feeling that they are here for a reason. So Rachel, when you are thinking of sharing the content, try keeping that, like, you know, P1 and P2. So the priority one content, try to keep it within the community, and then the P2 one, which can go outside, which can just give a gist about your community and what is happening inside the community. Use it to make that funnel bigger, okay? And that will actually attract good people from outside, because you're just giving them that gist of the flavor which is there in your community, and then you are also keeping the exclusiveness of your content within the community for your community members. So that would be my answer. Yeah.
Great, great. We have another question here. So I think this question was answered. Carlos says, in terms of a content calendar, what kind of interval do you suggest, monthly or bi-monthly? And you had said monthly, right, Paris?
Monthly will be good. Yeah.
Yeah, monthly is
because you can tweak. You need to tweak it. That's why you will create a series. You will see if it's not getting good traction, change it. This is what you have to keep on doing. If your Monday motivation is not working, nobody told you to make it Monday motivation. Make it something else. But you need to tweak and understanding to with respect to the response you're getting from your community. So yeah, that's how it go.
Great. And Carlos, I love all these questions. Thank you. Keep them coming. Carlos says, can you suggest any rituals that have worked for you?
We have a lot of community folks, people are there. They can also even tell you a lot of rituals. We follow something called Wednesday welcomes, which is kind of our community custom is like, we call each other folks, right? So old folks, new folks. So whenever new folks join in, we welcome them, and we welcome them with a game where few old folks will actually welcome them, ask them something, and things will happen. So every specific post which will go on Wednesdays, and we are following this from past 3 years, almost 3 years, right? Then a lot of rituals. I used to do community dinners earlier when things were open, obviously. So that was one thing which a lot of people used to miss when things go online. Then there is something which I have recently started from July. It's called Thoughtful Thursdays. So that's the whole Thursday I'm taking care of it in my community apart from other days. So, and there what I've started is it is really working in my community. Like a lot of people can say it here that it is really working, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to all 5 days or 6 days we are talking specifically technically about communities and other stuff, but that one day we have kept to talk about the human part. So Thoughtful Thursdays is all about that human angle behind these community members, or to know about them. I'll share things where I'll say what is that first memory you have of when you have planned something, when you have done something around the community. So you need to tell me something what was the first time. Let's say I give an example that I used to host Saturday breakfast at my house during school. I used to cook bread and omelets and make cold coffees for my friends when I used to call. And I never realized that I was actually managing a community. That was a community event I was hosting, but I realized it later. So I just want such kind of questions. So you need to create that, and then you need to keep on doing it. Ritual is something you in your culture. There must be few festivals which is kind of a ritual of your culture, right? Which has been followed from past 100 years. So you need to make something so that people remember, okay, this is a ritual from this community, and they will always remember. They will always miss that. So you need to keep on doing it, and after a few months, let's say years, people will relate to it. Okay, this is the right thing, and this happens at this place. So yeah, this is the specific to content. I've given you examples of rituals.
Thank you so much. All right, great. We have another question here, and Valentina's dropping links to the Community Folks Facebook group and the website. So if anybody wanted easy access, it's right there. You can see them in the chat. So, okay. Is it Himanshu? How do I pronounce it?
Himanshu.
Yeah.
Himanshu.
Thank you so much for your question. It is question for all who are attending this meetup. Oh, which rituals are you following in your community? Let us know in the comments. I love that. A question for the community there. Let us know what rituals you follow. Let's see. Carlos says, I like the idea of rituals that are unique to our community. Yes. Oh, question from Carlos. He says, how do you not get burnt out by managing a large community?
So first of all, you can't save yourself burning out. You will burn out. It's a job to get burned out. So you need to keep your work sane. You need to keep on doing something which keeps you sane. Okay, you need to sort your brain out, and so take frequent breaks, and don't try to tolerate everything. Okay, keep some barrier, keep some restrictions for yourself, that this time I'll not do this, and I'll not touch my phone. So you need to be very much clear about that. And then again, to save your burnout thing, what you need to do is basically you need to try having more mods, or try involving your community. Trust me, your inner circle is just waiting for your ask. They are just one ask away. The power of ask. I never thought about it, but I have seen my whole community just been run by inner circle. I'm taking part really less during the community, and a lot of the members, those who are part of it, they really feel it. It's their own space and they are running it. So try trusting on your inner circle. Try break down the whole process of managing the community. Then give small chunks to those specific people, and then you see how they're doing. And you just need to delegate, and you need to understand, and you are actually helping them as well. So yeah, that's how you save yourself. You need more hands, Carlos. That's the only way. And unfortunately, community teams, like at least in the brands, they don't get so much of resources. But yeah, soon we will, because we will be driving so much of growth and value for the company. So yeah, they will definitely give us a lot of members and resources.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, and thank you for the answer. Okay, I'm just looking here, see if there are any questions. Oh, people are sharing some of their rituals. So Orla I have mini Monday moments where we share a positive moment that happened in the day. I love that. She has Eat Vegan on Wednesday, where
Wow.
recipe, and 5 Ways Friday, where I share 5 ways to style one item. Look at that. Love it.
Wow.
Love it. Carlos had Win Wednesday. I love that. Share what you did that was great this week. I love that. I have something similar too in my group about sharing our win from the week. Let's see. Okay, so another question here. Carlos says, I feel a bit guilty of getting my members to do work. Is that normal?
They want to. That's what I said. You get back to me if you feel they're feeling bad. Trust me, you haven't asked them. You really need to open it to them. You really need to say, guys, I really want to build this community, and I don't have much hands to do it. I really need helping hands. You just have to say it, and then you see the kind of response you will get. I never knew it until I did that. That's what I'm telling you. They are there to support you everywhere. You will just feel that what great I did in my last birth, probably. That's why so many people are there to support me. So that kind of feeling you will get.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I have my moderators or volunteers from the community, and I asked there first to see who wanted to help, and I was surprised at how many people stepped up. You have the super fans that want to be a part, even more of a part of the community. So don't be afraid to ask. Love that, Paris. Let's see. Carlos says, does that mean being very specific about the help you need?
Yeah, right. Like you already mentioned that you want to manage the burnout of managing a big community. So there is a process of managing a community. You know that, right? You know it. You have been doing it. Now sit for a day, reflect everything, what you do to manage that community. What are the troubles and challenges you're facing? What is the repetitive task? And then break it down. Even your Win Wednesdays, why you have to do that? Bring your old community member and let him lead the whole Win Wednesday. So now you skipped the Win Wednesday part from your task. There is someone who's taking care of that. Similarly, you can break it down and then you give it to specific community members, and they will love that.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, Carlos is nice. I like that of delegating the rituals. Yes. I mean, I have creating the ritual post or the weekly post was burning me out. I needed to start focusing on other aspects of my community. And so I asked my community if somebody wanted to help with social media posts, and somebody did. So I have a volunteer that does all the posting like that for me. So that saves me time, and they are happy to do it. So yes, love that tip. All right, we have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions. If anybody has any more questions, let us know before we're going to do 2 things. So if you have any questions, let us know. We will get to those. Then we're going to take a group photo, and then we're going to get into the breakout room. So if you have a question, don't be shy. This is your chance. We'd love to have Paris answer that. So let us know. I'm going to just talk for a few more seconds to let anybody who is like on the fence and afraid to type in, let them type it in. Great. So we have Mitesh says, great session. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Mitesh.
All right. Any other questions? All right. So if there are no other questions, don't leave yet, because we still have a few things, and you guys definitely want to stay for the raffle at the end. I do want to give a virtual round of applause here for Paris, and also let us know in the comments. Thank him, please. Thank you so much, Paris, for your time today. This was an amazing session, and the Q&A, you were just like boom, 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 giving us value left and right. I know I learned so much, and I've been doing community for a few years now. So thank you so much for your insights of everything. Yes, people are saying yes, applause, thank you, claps, thanks. Yes, we really appreciated this. So many valuable notes, Naveen says. Thank you so much. Oh,